Ladies and gentlemen, this is my first time covering the TWAB. For those of you that may not know, every Thursday evening UK time, DMG and Cosmo give us the lowdown on what is coming in the future of Destiny. This week does not disappoint. The return of Vaulter class is here. Slap this date in your calendars. Saturday the 22nd of May at reset. The story of the Vault has not been changed, so we're facing off against Atheon once again. Similar to the Cosmodrome strikes reissued at the beginning of Season of the Chosen, but they mentioned that they have tweaked some of the encounters. Expect Overload and Barrier champions, maybe a Wyvern or two. It continues on by saying there will be a world's first race, but different to other raids as it's a reissued raid from the Content Vault. Once you complete the raid for the first time within the first 24 hours, this will unlock a contest mode which involves you and your fire team completing triumphs. Whichever team gets them completed first will be awarded world's first. Myself, as I don't play on weekends, this bums me out a little bit, but nonetheless I'm excited to jump in and get me that Fatebringer as soon as possible. Moving on. Weapon archetypes. Not much mentioned about nerfs in this TWAB. Let's start off with the 450 rounds per minute auto rifles. Straight to the point, they are buffing critical damage from 17 to 18. Are we looking at a shadow price meta in PvP? Get farming for those rolls, people. Looks like 450s are making a potential comeback in PvP. Next up, the Neo Fusion rifles. The heavy weapons no one uses. Well, you might reconsider that now. They are receiving a 50% damage increase to critical damage and 20% ammo reserve increase. This is a huge buff, and I'm so glad I've been keeping hold of a couple of threaded needles. My roll has 12 rounds in reserve. With the new buff coming, this would give me 14 rounds without backup mag. Not bad at all. This buff should affect Sleeper Simulant also, keep your eyes out for that. And finally, with weapon types, fusion rifles. They are being buffed again. What a time to be alive. Damage fall-off is increasing by 2 meters for all fusion rifles. Fusion rifles that cap out at 100 do not get changed. The next topic discusses perks, and there are numerous buffs to these. First up is Subsistence. This perk essentially reloads part of your mag but decreases ammo reserves. Not anymore. This mostly benefits SMGs as their ammo refund has been increased to match auto rifles. On screen you can see my Adept Palindrome without Subsistence. It has 106 rounds in reserve, versus my Subsistence Rampage version, which only has 65 rounds in reserve. The buff to this perk will make this a very viable combo in both PvE and PvP, as the reserves will not be penalised. Unrelenting is also getting some treatment in PvE. This perk is supposed to heal you by getting kills, is getting a buff by increasing the chance of being healed, and automatically healing you on killing a major. I have noticed this perk being very inconsistent, so it is also a welcome change. Dragonfly. Now procs on heavy shanks and servitors, and procs even faster than before. I didn't even know this was a thing. Nonetheless, another great change. The next buff, to me, is the biggest of the lot, and I'm convinced that this will impact the last word and Dead Man's Tale. The cone angle of hip-fired shots is increasing by 1 degree, making it easier to land shots with hipfire. I've been using the last word a lot in PvP and it feels amazing. This buff might just make this gun even nuttier, and I'm all for it. The buffs keep coming. Next up, it talks about Iron Banner specific perks. These give strong advantages but also disadvantage the player. They are reducing the penalties on the perks by 10 points, meaning my steady hand won't take longer than it takes me to make a coffee in the morning to reload. Thank God. The next 2 changes are more quality of life than buffs. We are getting Stasis Damage added to the Osmosis perk, which essentially changes the damage type of your primary gun when you throw your grenade, based on what subclass you are running. Similar treatment for the Elemental Capacitor with Stasis. You get a buff to recoil direction, making your gun more stable. No distractions now procs after 1 second as opposed to 1.5 seconds, and flinch is reduced by an extra 5%. Celerity now gives you 20 plus handling and reload speed passively, and Bottomless Grief grants 30 plus magazine passively also, on top of their current respective perks. Adept mods. Similar to the Iron Banner perks, the Adept mods can detriment the player, and they are getting nerfed. The stat penalty they give is being decreased by 5. For example, putting Adept mag on won't drop my handling as much as before. Adept Counterbalance has also had its effect buff, but they haven't told us by how much exactly. Finally, exotic changes. Minor Multi-Tool. They are removing Outlaw from its catalyst, the most useless perk the gun could have due to its already fast reload. It is being replaced by No Distractions, which is getting buffed also. The rest of the TWAB continues with future nerfs to shotguns and DMT in Season 14, also potential buff to fusion rifles, and the usual movie of the week and maintenance stuff. Super excited for these changes that are coming with Season 14. Be on the lookout for Sleeper Simulant and The Last Word. I feel they'll be super strong in PvE and PvP respectively. I might be wrong, but hey, one can hope. That's it for me. Catch you all soon. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Latest Guardians.